Peggy 16.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is WWE Superstar Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, and I got some information for you. It's time to finish the story in WWE 2K24. Relive the greatest moments in WrestleMania history in the 2K showcase of the Immortals. From the golden era to today, the evolution of the greatest spectacle in sports entertainment is in your hands. With an epic roster of superstars and brand new match types, it's down to you to finish your story in WWE 2K24, available now.
Bouncing.
It's the show that celebrates WWE. It's Gorilla Position.
Hello, you, and welcome to Gorilla Position. Thank you very much for hitting the download button on this, your pro wrestling / sports entertainment podcast of pleasure. My name is James D'Lo, your host and your guide through the wonderful world of WWE. Thank you for tuning in to this episode 322 of the biggest and best WWE podcast in the UK, the only show of its kind to be supported, endorsed, and promoted by WWE themselves. It is Wednesday, 8th of May, 2024, and on the show today, our full thoughts on WWE Backlash avec France. Does that mean with France? Yes, it does. Je m'appelle WWE. Je beat Backlash. Oui. J'aime le sandwich au jambon on a horse. That's the that is the extent of my French. Je suis très bien. Non, avec. I apologise to all our French listeners and all our listeners, actually. That was awful. That was a low point. Speaking of low points, true story, God's honest truth. In my French GCSE, I was so appalling at French and all languages, and I didn't listen. I didn't try my best, which is, I'm not proud of it. So anyone listening to this right now who's still at school, please work hard and always try your best. I'm not proud of my lack of knowledge when it comes to other fine languages. But when it came to my written French GCSE exam, I just wrote Friends quotes. Like funny one-liners. I'm not even joking. Funny one-liners from Joey, from Chandler, from Ross. Like, could I be wearing any more clothes? I wrote that in my French GCSE as a response. And let me be ultra clear about this. I wrote them in English.
Okay.
So...
What was your grade?
Well, as you can imagine, not great.
Yeah.
I got a G. And that was because, I'm told, I got my name correct.
Wow. That is insane.
Anyway, Backlash in France was better than my French.
Yeah.
And that crowd in Lyon, one of the, if not the best crowd in the history of WWE. We'll get into that. What a night. A run-of-the-mill B show that became an all-time unforgettable night for the company. We'll be breaking down that, the big PLE from Lyon, getting into all things Monday Night Raw, the king and queen of the ring coming up in a few weeks. Lots to discuss, as always, and to do it with this week. First up, he's a content producer, he's a podcaster, he's the newest member of the GP fam, but already a heavy favourite of many. Aww. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Mex is in the house. You're on, my boy.
I've been out of here for 1 week and I've already had like withdrawal symptoms. Like couldn't wait to get back here.
How do you think Ash Rose is feeling? And last but certainly not least, in the main event spot, if you will. He's a rapper, he's a DJ, he's a WWE lifer, the man they call Skillet.
Funny people are saying me a war, merci, wee, bonbons, and all that good stuff. Thank you for having me back. And yes, Mex, you don't take compliments well. I've noticed this. I've noticed he gets really shy when you say anything good about him. But yes, you are a heavy favourite of mine, and you always will be. Mex.
Well, this is perfect. Let's just slag him off. Maybe he'll be a lot more comfortable. So languages in school, Mex, were you any good?
French, I got a grade B.
What?
Yeah.
Hit me with some French.
Yeah, ask it now.
That wasn't French. Am I right?
You're not. Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle and all that.
You got B, that's good though.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I don't know. The teacher was very good. I think the teacher was really, really good.
Well, do you remember the teacher's name?
Mr. Toomey.
Mr. Toomey.
Yeah.
To you.
But do you guys remember?
Was he a chuckle brother?
I think he was.
He wasn't.
He was.
Mr. Toomey.
That's a great name.
One of the Chuckle Brothers is dead.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Sad.
Rest in peace.
Very sad. Your languages in school?
I was terrible, James.
Really?
I was really bad. I didn't do what you did.
No.
Which was like, but I did try, but it was no. Sorry. I like yourself. I wasn't really paying attention to French. I probably was a bit cheeky, thinking I don't need this in my life, which is very disrespectful and rude to think.
I have so many regrets about my school years.
Yeah,
the things I could have learnt. It's a shame. So anyway, yeah, this is a warning to young listeners: work hard and try at school. It's important. Shout out to our headline sponsors of Gorilla Position: WWE 2K24, the best WWE video game of all time, the highest rated game in the 2K series, is out now. From the link you'll see in the podcast description. Let us know, by the way, who is playing it, who's enjoying it. We'd love to hear your genuine thoughts. We'd love to hear from our great GP fans. Give us your review. Like, what are the new? What do you think of the new match types? The roster? Who have you been playing as? Talk to us about the showcase of the Immortals mode. How far have you got? We'd love to hear your thoughts on 2K24. Drop us an email, hellou@wwegp.co.uk. And don't forget, I hope you boys haven't forgotten this, the DLC Superstars are coming very soon. Next week, in fact, 15th of May they drop. They'll be available for download. And said Superstars include Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, Sandman, Terry Funk, and CM Punk.
That's right.
So another exciting time around the corner for WWE 2K24. Go check out the game. The link is in the description of this here podcast and is available now. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. So we didn't do a Backlash special on Monday. Apologies. We normally try and do a reaction show straight after a PLE weekend, but it was bank holiday. I was away seeing family, so we just thought we'd kind of wrap it into this week's episode of GP. Before we do, quickly, a couple of emails from the GP faithful. David McGregor, and this is actually about the draft, so I wanted to read this out. And on this note, and to sort of emphasise all the points we made last week about the draft, it took effect from Monday, and I didn't give it the slightest thought. It made no difference whatsoever to the product.
No, it's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Proof, if proof be needed, that the draft is meaningless in its current form.
I had egg on my face. 2 weeks ago I was here giving the big end, like I can't wait for the draft and everything. And I just thought, yeah, James was right.
You had egg avec face.
Just another day in the office, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
You're so useless, Mex. Just slacking him off. So David McGregor said, after the crushing disappointment of another WWE draft, I've reinvented it and tied it into WWE 2K24. Why not let the focus of the draft be around building new factions and teams? They can still protect their champions if they insist on doing so. 1. Existing factions / certain tag teams would be dissolved prior to the draft. 2, each GM picks 6 or 7 faction leaders from their brand. 3, on draft night, round robin style, the leaders select someone new for their stable. They can stop at 2 for a tag team or whatever number they want. If a wrestler refuses to join them, they become a single star. Can you imagine the drama, backstabbing and storylines in the weeks leading up to the draft, with teams and factions panicking about splitting up or being replaced? Would genuinely be mega exciting and would lead to all sorts of fan booking dream factions. It refreshes all the mid and undercard and makes the draft mean something. Keep up the good work. And what a great draft pick Ash Rose has turned out to be for GP.
Oh, wow.
Love you guys. Only kidding, David. I quite like that draft. I quite like that draft idea.
It's very Gladiators, in my opinion.
In what way?
It's like my love for factions is having a connection with wrestlers who have a rapport with each other and want to help each other. And it's like a brotherhood or a sisterhood, and they want to fight and die for each other. I don't want it to be a thing where it's like you have to be in a team. You guys now, to help the mid card, now we're going to have things where we have a faction to help the roster, and you have to be together, and these people don't even know each other. I'm just like, yeah, with that.
Thrown together,
yeah,
AKA damage control.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, at least there's some sort of connection there with the Asuka and Kairi saying,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know. For me, it's just very much a team thing. But Gladiator, you're on the first whistle, and then he runs off, and the next one runs afterwards. And I'm just not.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't quite get that connection. But
maybe it's not really a great comparison, but you know.
But I like his thinking outside the box.
Yeah, thanks.
Well done, David.
Always do.
Well done, David. Natalie Brennan weighing in on last week's CM Punk rant from Kev. Hello, you, dear James and your team. I love the idea of the CM Punk. I love the idea of a CM Punk debate podcast, because I'm in the camp of Kevin Clifton. I've never met Kevin because I live in Australia, but every single thing he said was right. I was watching this week's AEW and what you guys predicted came true. Once Jack Perry came on screen, they were chanting CM Punk. Punk, I don't think, can have 30-minute matches because he gets winded after 10. CM Punk is a person who needs to be in the spotlight all the time, but he simply is not good enough to be there. Max, your thoughts? What did you think about what Kev said last week about CM Punk?
I mean, he raised a lot of good points, but maybe like CM Punk, the delivery doesn't hit the same, because it's like, we know at this point he's not your favorite person, sort of thing. Look, I think CM Punk, he knows why he's come back to a WWE. It's just all about, making money for the company, not ending on the sour note that was AEW. And as long as he keeps playing his position well, as he has been doing so far, I think he's largely harmless.
Largely harmless. That's a great way. Not the way I thought you'd describe CM Punk.
Oh, no. Well.
I don't understand why he rubs people the wrong way. I just don't get it. No one knows him. We don't know this man. We only hear stories of what he's done or whatever, and that's cool. You can have your opinions about that. But personally, I just feel like it's a bit of a manhunt or witch hunt towards Punk right now. And I just don't get it. None of these people matter to me in that way. I don't lose sleep of someone showing up in a wrestling ring or whatever. I just think it's going a bit too far now. And I'm going to say something that might be a bit controversial. I think there's more outrage over CM Punk than there was ever about Hulk Hogan and what he did and what he said. So I just find this whole thing ridiculous. That's what I'm going to say.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say Kevin does lose sleep over Punk.
It looks like it. Yeah.
But what I will say about Punk, and this is my sort of whole argument against what Kev says, is that fans have been clambering for us to do this CM Punk episode of the show. We have never, ever, in 322 episodes of GP, ever done a whole podcast around one talent. There's a reason why everyone wants to talk about him. There is something about him that says superstar.
Of course.
He's a draw.
Absolutely.
Quickly, Martin Bell writes us, "Hi all, absolutely loving that you're back. We've missed you. I thought I'd drop a message as I've been revisiting some Mania matches in the run-up to WrestleMania 40. So this came through a few weeks ago. Sorry, I'm only just getting to it. I rewatched Bret Hart versus Owen Hart today, and oh my, this match is a beauty to behold. The pacing is great. To start, there's flurries of action, and then the pace comes back down before building up again, and that gets the crowd invested. Owen shouting at Bret and being obnoxious is fantastic. He was so good at being the annoying younger brother. Does anyone run into the turnbuckle better than Bret? When people run the ropes, you never normally feel there's any jeopardy. However, with Bret, every time he heads towards the corner, you worry. You know it's great when you don't want it to end. There's such a variety of moves with hardly any punches. At the end, we're ready for the finish, but we don't realize we're ready for the finish. The fact that this match still holds up is a testament to them both, kings of their craft. Keep up the great work, Martin. And the reason I specifically wanted to read that out is because yesterday would have been Owen Hart's 59th birthday.
Right. Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Owen Hart.
That's one of my favorite matches of all time.
I mean, absolutely.
That's one of my favorite
incredible.
matches of all time. So, I could watch that match over and over again.
It's amazing. Keep them coming. Hello you at wwegp.co.uk. And as promised, we'll try and get to our John Cena email that I've been promising for weeks at the end of this week's show. Right, should we dive into some news?
Let's.
Hit them, Ben.
I'm afraid I've got some news.
It's GP's Ringside Report, powered by WWE 2K24.
What we got, Max?
So it's all about contracts, moving up, moving down today. We'll start with NXT. They were part of the draft that happened recently, but one person that has recently been called up is Alicia Taylor, the NXT ring announcer. So according to Fightful Select, she is moving to the main roster and she's going to be the new voice of SmackDown. If you saw on social media following last night's NXT, Shawn Michaels had a little do for her backstage to kind of thank her for her time in NXT, and they gave her like a signed NXT title and said their goodbyes and stuff like that. Alicia Taylor's like particularly popular because of she does other stuff. She wears other hats backstage in NXT and has been for 5 years now. So, the least of it is just coming out and doing ring announcing. And obviously Samantha Irvin has made ring announcing quite popular as of recent. Samantha Irvin done both nights of WrestleMania. Alicia Taylor moves up to SmackDown and Mike Rome now moves to NXT. So it's absolutely great for Alicia Taylor. But my question to you guys is, what's going on with Mike Rome? Because to not be on WrestleMania at all and now moving to the developmental brand, it's a bit concerning.
So, I mean, firstly, you reference Fightful. If you're going to cite news outlets, cite good ones. Yeah.
All right, Hunter.
Just a Triple H joke there. So that's the interesting hook on this. What I think Samantha Irvin has really carved a niche for herself, right?
Absolutely.
She has become a personality. The ring announcers, I mean, Howard Finkel and the like did back in the day, but even more
Lillian
so
Garcia.
than that. Lillian Garcia did, yes, she did, and she was an important part of the
But
show.
I know what you mean. Howard Finkel was the main guy.
But I think with social media now and the fact that, like you were saying, Max, earlier, she's got a camera on her at all times to pick up those reactions. She's huge on TikTok. She's got that relationship with Ricochet. She is, I mean, a clever businesswoman. She's really made a star out of herself and her role. And the fact, Ludwig Kaiser, and everyone's got their own personality kind of built into her announcement, which is pretty amazing what she's done. She's really taken the ball and run with it, and I guess just made herself to the company more valuable than a Mike Rome, who I think is really good. He's a great ring announcer, but he is just generic male ring announcer.
Yeah, and Alicia Taylor doesn't quite do those names like Samantha Irvin, but again, I think she comes with more energy.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a movement to kind of show that a ring announcer doesn't just look like this. It doesn't have to be a man. We've got two excellent female ring announcers here available to us. Let's use them and use it as a system to kind of promote. If you're working well, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the company. If you're kind of gaining traction with what you're doing, this is your chance.
And I think both women are great at doing the big fight feel with announcing. I'm not sure if
They really are.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Mike kind of captures that feeling. Where I think Alicia and Samantha, they nailed that. So.
I think it comes down to this personality. And again, there was like a reason why CM Punk came down to the ring this week and made a point of going over to Samantha Irvin and giving her a high five and, greatness meets greatness and all that. I mean, I think it's great news for Alicia, so I'm all up for it. So Mike Rome is going to NXT. That's the thing.
So
okay.
Alicia Taylor, her last show was last night in NXT, so she probably is going to be on SmackDown this weekend, and then as of next week, Mike Rome is going to be in NXT, I imagine.
Okay, great. Next news story. Someone not staying on with WWE?
Yes. WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler, his contract has expired with WWE, so I'm sure this is like the Legends contract that they have. And WWE have quietly declined, as the reports say, to renew that contract. He's obviously been with the company for a very, very long time. And like I say, been under this Legends deal. He debuted in the WWF as a ring announcer back in December 1992. But had been wrestling since 1970. Not too sure as of now why the decision has been made. It could just be a thing of moving on with the times. Lawler did have health struggles and had a stroke last year, February, which impacted his speech. And obviously being an announcer or being a host, his speech is quite important. So maybe it's just, it doesn't fit the bill anymore.
Unless we forget the heart attack he had live on air next to Michael Cole.
Yeah.
One of the most extraordinary scenes I've ever seen on live TV. Yeah. Skills, coming to you. Yeah. Us two more so than Mex because we're a little bit older, but we will really remember the heyday of Jerry Lawler. I'm not talking back in when we were tiny in the Memphis days.
Oh, I remember Memphis, 70s.
But, Attitude Era.
Yeah, of course.
Him and Jim Ross. The soundtrack, the salt and pepper to the steak, the sizzle to the steak. What an incredible duo they were, and so special. But I think there's an argument to be made that Jerry Lawler is a bit outrageous sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's you're saying that very that's nice. That's very nice of you, by the way.
Not hugely PC, but also I have to say in his older years, not bringing much to the table when he's been on kickoff shows or panel discussions for WWE. He doesn't bring anything particularly interesting. His jokes always fall a bit flat. It's the old dad jokes. And I don't think he brings anything too kind of thoughtful or considered to the table anymore.
No.
So just from that point of view, I think, and also the audience, there is a huge portion of the audience now that won't really remember Jerry Lawler for the greatness he was.
Absolutely. Obviously, you hit the nail on the head there. In the Attitude Era, him and Jim Ross, they're probably my best ever commentator duo. Yeah, I think their chemistry when we were children and was off the wall, off the charts. But yes, there comes a time where things changed. They've moved on significantly without him. Jim Ross has moved on, and Lord, it was just always there. And it was even after the whole situation with his heart attack, or unfortunately what happened with him, and he's kept on because Vince has a love for him and kept him on for so many years. I felt like there was times where he was on the kickoff and he will argue against wrestlers they're trying to push. Am I right about that, Max? Wasn't there situations where they were trying to push Kofi Kingston, and he was like, I don't think Kofi Kingston should be a world champion. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's it's just not really reading the script or understanding the assignment. And I think Lawler has been out of touch for a very long time, and it's been a long time coming. I'm surprised he lasted this long, if I'm honest with you.
That's a great point. What you just said, didn't quite understand the assignment of putting the brand or the talents over in a constructive way. It was like he came to the table and sort of relied on the legend he was and was like, I can wing this. And actually, no, mate.
Exactly.
Do you guys remember the last place he was seen on WWE TV?
God, no.
No.
Last year. Inducting Andy Kaufman into the
Hall
of Fame.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was nice. But but that was it.
Largely forgettable.
Yeah.
I did clearly. However, what a nice full circle moment, because everything he did with Andy Kaufman and the Saturday night, talk shows, and that was a huge thing.
One of the biggest things in wrestling history.
And they made a film out of it with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So, can't say I'm sad to see him go, but obviously wishing him all the best and thank you for the memories.
Absolutely.
Jerry the King Lawler. Okay, final story.
Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, he has said to the Metro newspaper that his contract ends in 9 months. So, of course, everyone starts talking, where is he going to go? Is he going to stay and everything like that? It's looking like early 2025 when his contract is up. However, he has said that he has no real intention of leaving. He's got a lot of love for the staff, the people he's met in WWE. He sounds very positive that, something will get sorted, that he wants to stick around. One thing that I guess has alarmed fans is because he used the word if, speaking to Busted Open, saying that if he gets one more WrestleMania match, he wants it to be against Finn Balor. And everyone's obviously saying, why are you saying if? Why aren't you more positive about, your status in the company? But do we think Kev stays on?
I hope so.
Firstly, that's really, I find that really interesting. I hadn't heard that before, that Kev has said, Kevin Clifton has said,
I've done that.
Kevin Clifton most certainly has not said this, but Kevin Owens has said if he has one more WrestleMania match, he'd want it to be against Finn Balor.
Yeah.
That's running it back to their NXT days.
Yeah, 2015, classic. Can I say something about Kevin Clifton? Sorry, this is very random. I know. I was interviewed on some radio show on Saturday, all the way in Hampstead or something like that. Anyway, And there was a gentleman that was filming me named Nick Park. Shout out to Nick Park if you're listening. And he's a fan of GP, right? And he said, oh, so I didn't realize. So I did the interview, whatnot, and he finished. And he's like, oh, who's this? And he showed me a picture of Kevin Clifton doing theatre. I think he was dressed in like Arabian garms. I'm not sure what it was. Kevin Clifton, tell me on the WhatsApp. Please confirm what it was. And he was a big fan. I just wanted to mention that. He loves Kevin Clifton. So,
well, that's great.
Yeah.
So shout out to Nick Park.
Yeah.
The guy who interviewed
from
you.
Hampstead, yeah.
Right. The creator of Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, that's right.
Nick Park?
That's right. Nick Park from Wallace Gromit. Yeah, the claymation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Park.
Interesting.
He interviewed me. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear he's a big fan.
And he loves Kevin Clifton.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Good.
Anyway, back to what you're saying, Max.
Is Kevin Owens staying in WWE?
I would like to think. Did he not? I thought he signed a new contract. Was I
He
wrong
did.
about
That was 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there you go.
Up with the news, as always.
Right. Well, there you go. Well, time flies, guys. You know, 1 minute you're.
Such is Skillet's journalistic prowess.
It's great, isn't it?
Didn't he sign a new deal? Yes, in 2014.
Yeah. I hope he does stay. I think I don't want him to move on. I mean, I know if he does move on, he will be fine and he'll still be a massive star no matter where he goes. But I feel like they've carved out a home for themselves in WWE, and it just doesn't feel the same with certain talents being part of that product. What do you think, Jay?
I think, hot take, you said wherever he goes, he'll be a massive star.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't agree. I think if he went to AEW, he'd be just another wrestler.
I disagree.
No,
Sorry. I totally disagrey with that.
I don't think they make stars.
That is a bit cheeky, James. Right.
Apart from a couple of standards.
I mean, he is very close friends with the Young Bucks. It was the Young Bucks that he called to say, look after Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes went to the Indies. So I'm sure
they will push him.
I'm sure they would look after him. What was their faction back in the day? Something Mountain or something like that.
Okay,
you remember? They had a faction in the Indies.
I know they were a team.
The Young Bucks, Kevin Owens and Adam Cole, they had a faction in PWG, but I can't remember the name. Yeah, they very close friends. But I think he's now, doing up company man. He settled in WWE. He said that. So, yeah, I can't imagine.
I mean, Kevin Steen in AEW will be a star, James. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind.
Do you think?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. I just think they are, AEW does some great stuff. We don't need to get into that. That's not what this is about. But they're worlds apart from where WWE are right now.
Yeah, of course.
So, it just wouldn't make any sense for him to go to AEW unless the money was absolutely extraordinary.
And maybe the schedule. Remember, a lot of big reasons why people used to deflect to WCW and whatnot. It was the schedule was always lighter.
You just mentioned money. Let me just bring this up quickly. Riho, one of the female talents in AEW, she appeared 10 times for AEW last year and got paid 400 grand. 40 grand an appearance. She came out on I can't remember the Asian network or that she came out on last week and said that.
Really?
Yeah.
So
they have got too much money.
A colossal waste of money that was.
I mean, ultimately, yeah, because she didn't do anything.
But for the talent,
you're laughing.
It's a dream, right? Yeah. And Kevin will be paid much more handsomely than that.
Yeah.
Kevin Clifton.
Yes. Who Nick Park likes.
Mount Rushmore is the name of the faction.
Was it Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Very good. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, my prediction would be Kevin Owens sticks around.
Yeah, likewise.
I hope so. Fingers crossed anyway. Right, let's talk about Backlash. Let's get into this amazing event from the LDLC Arena in Lyon, France. Backlash has now become the event where post-Mania they do it in another country. So last year was Puerto Rico, right? Headlined by Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny. I mean, that was a brilliant show and a brilliant crowd. However, was this the greatest crowd in WWE history?
I think we're going to have to say yes.
I mean, just was, wasn't it?
They didn't stop. They were tired.
They hijacked the show, but in a very good, positive way. Yeah.
It wasn't done like, they're overdoing it now. It was actually fun throughout the whole show. The whole show felt exciting.
And if this was to become the norm, so this summer in particular, other than SummerSlam in August, which is in Cleveland, we've just had Backlash in France. We've got Clash of the Castle coming up. Well, we've got Saudi Arabia at end of May for King and Queen of the Ring. which is a terrible name for a pay-per-view, right?
Very long.
King
not punchy.
and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, that
doesn't work in my view. And then we've got Clash of the Castle in Scotland. And then we go straight to Berlin for Bash at the...
We've got Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank in Toronto. And then we've got Bash in Berlin at the end of August. So, European dates. If the crowds at these Europe shows try to compete with what the French crowd did, and this sort of becomes the norm, does it get annoying or do we just love it? Because there were points in the show where I was thinking, all right, come on, calm down a bit. Like you're doing it on every 2 count.
Yeah.
But that said, like, what an experience. Like, Mex, you were saying you watched SmackDown on the Friday night and you were like, can I go? Can I get there tomorrow night?
I was talking to my missus saying, like, you know, I know we're keeping this money for something, but please, can I dip into it? Like,
dip into the savings.
Like, honestly, it just looks incredible.
And Mex is divorced
and
tomorrow.
You didn't go.
No.
So we
She's
know
the
who
boss.
has to travel.
Yeah, she's the boss. Come on.
Oh, she's the boss. Oh, sorry. It was a great crowd. They got away with it this time, but I agree. If this is the norm, it will just get like everything else. It will just stop being special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, but just what an experience! Like I was watching parts of the kickoff show, and I was thinking they're going to get exhausted. This is going to be a 3-hour show. I think the show ran for about 2:55, so quite a nice length for a PLE as well. But throughout the night, they were, you see these scenes at kind of football games and stuff, but there are peaks and troughs. This crowd was lit from start to finish. And for every talent. It wasn't like there was a big hometown hero coming back.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Sami Zayn in Montreal treatment. It was just for everyone and everything. But to the point where I can't review the show. Was it any good? It felt like the greatest show WWE's ever put on just because of the crowd reaction. But in terms of match quality, no idea if it was good or not.
I think it was a good show. I think that was the one thing going into it. People looked at the card and said, bar Cody, there isn't really, a lot of main eventers or top talents that we want to see. People were saying that Leon France had been shafted, that, they got the short end of the stick and stuff like that. But, they made the most of what they got for sure. And, even on the crowd, Triple H was saying in the press conference that, people always ask him, how do I get WWE into their country? And he said, behave like France, embrace it, enjoy it, be electric, all of that kind of stuff. And he kept talking about the aura and all of that kind of stuff that, they just brought to it. So much so, they're chanting their little phenomenal song when AJ Styles is a heel in the main event. Trying
Styles
not to
deserves that.
acknowledge it. Yeah, no, he 100%.
Deserves that.
But trying not to acknowledge it and stuff like that. So, yeah, they done a great job. And you know what? The chances are the people that were at Friday Night SmackDown were the same people on Saturday night.
A lot of them
Absolutely.
would have
So
been,
they've literally had that energy for 2 nights.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Seeing very similar talents both nights as well.
That's a good point. That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
It was so good. Just visually, I love the way they shot the crowd. I mean, we talked about it at length about, the Titantron and the sets being reduced in size, because the most important thing here is the massive crowds. And nothing says we have a hot product than a jam-packed house. And WWE are really playing on that. We had an email about it last week that we read out. But I love the way there were different shots. They're producing shows in a different way, so it really highlights the audience. What I loved, I think my favourite moment, it was a shot of AJ, shot from hard camera. And of course, the camera was shaking all over the place because people were stomping and chanting. And, it was the unbelievable scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, what a special night for AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a long time coming. And what it shows me is that this French crowd, I don't believe this French crowd was just only strictly WWE fans. I think when you've given someone that reception, you follow this man throughout their whole career.
Yeah.
And I think that they followed AJ through TNA. You know what I mean? Maybe not through the indies, because I don't know what the syndication is with independent wrestling in that country. But definitely at least TNA. They must have followed him through that and maybe seen his work in maybe in Japan. But he deserves it. He's a legend. And also, I want to point out, a lot of people wasn't really excited about the main event. I mean, I know there wasn't much of a build to the main event, but you cannot hear Cody and AJ and not get excited. I never understood that.
Well, let's get to that. Let's go in order, because it wasn't just AJ they were excited about. They were red hot from start to finish. And we started with the Bloodline So Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, with Paul Heyman obviously defeating Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in what became a street fight. They were brawling, and then Nick Aldis came out and said, "It's now a street fight. No rules. Go." Bell rings. I mean, this was a 20-minute banger.
Yeah.
What a show open. What a curtain jerker this was.
This is the way, like, as if they weren't hype enough. Like, this is the way to hype up a crowd. Yeah. And, you know, literally turning it on their head. You think you're just going to get a bog standard tag match. No, since you guys want to kill each other, fair enough, go for it, sort of thing. No rules. And yeah, they absolutely tore the place down. So violent to each other as well. There was a good spot in there where Randy Orton was kind of pretending he was going to do one of these like plancha spots that Kevin Owens done. He just jumped off the barricade. It was like, no, not for me. Not for me. I was laughing. I was laughing. And then, of course, we got the debut of yet another member of the Bloodline.
But not the member we thought. Not the member we had in the front of our minds. We talked about it on last week's show. Everyone was making predictions that Jacob Fatu would be arriving in France as the newest member of the Bloodline. But Skills, who did we get?
Lawel? I never knew how to pronounce his name.
Tangaloa.
Is it Tangaloa?
I thought you were joking.
Tangaloa.
Tangaloa, yeah.
Yeah, Tangaloa. He's, obviously one half of Gorillas of Destiny, a great tag team from New Japan. Obviously, Tama Tonga was, in my opinion, the star of that tag team, but it's great to have him part of that because I want people to see the chemistry these two brothers can produce together. Obviously, he's been in WWE for a very long time. I mean, if anyone knows his history, he was Camacho back in the day. Do you remember him? He was
2011.
He used to play the Puerto Rican gangster.
Him and is it Hunico?
For Hunico.
Yeah.
When Hunico took off the Sin Cara mask and started becoming like a street wrestler.
Oh, wow.
So that was him. And then he was in FCW. He was in NXT for a long time. You know, so he was building his name up, and then obviously he went to New Japan, TNA. He went TNA for a little bit. It was with a faction with Drew McIntyre and LA Knight.
Yeah.
So he's been doing it for a long time, as long as his brother's been doing it, and it's good to see them together. That I think, Max, you and I discussed the dream match scenario years ago between the Usos and the Gorillas of Destiny, and it looking like we're going to get that.
And Triple H clearly wants that as well.
Yeah.
So for people that haven't followed his career and don't know much about the stuff he's done outside of WWE, he is Haku's son as well,
yes, that's
brother of Tama Tonga. So they were tag champs together in IWGP and Ring of Honor. And now they're together as part of the Bloodline. But presumably Jacob Fatu is next.
Yeah, I think that's the 4. You know how we all predicted a few weeks ago the 4 against 4 was going to be The Rock involved. I think it's looking at it realistically. Why would The Rock do a War Games scenario match?
I can't quite see Rock in War Games.
Yeah,
we spoke about this. Then you said to me, James, that they could do the bells and whistles. The Rock can come in last, and then just do a little bit and stuff like that. There's a part of me that thought on Saturday that maybe Jacob Fatu actually joins Roman's side, just because his surname right there, Fatu. Anyone that's in the know knows that's the same surname as the Usos in the first place.
True.
And then what we spoke about, his moveset is too exciting to just dull down and become very slow.
But we do have a Fatu in.
I know. The other, but he answers Sikoa, so we can kind of get away with it. But
I think looking at Jacob Fatu's work, I haven't seen much of it. I have seen some of his matches and his personality. I think he's a perfect heel.
He is.
So I think he will join. I think it will be the 4 against 4. God, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa versus Usos, Reigns, and Sami Zayn.
And The Rock returning as a surprise return at Survivor Series and costing Team Roman.
Yeah.
Setting up Roman Rock at WrestleMania.
That's a weird
scenario.
I mean, it's really getting exciting. And what I love in this kind of post-WrestleMania lull is the Bloodline story is continuing, but putting massive... I mean, if you think Bloodline was all about Roman Reigns and, of course, the Usos as well, but in the build-up to Mania, Roman Reigns and The Rock, like one of the most famous people on the planet, just, outside of wrestling alone. And now, within the same storyline, within the same faction, they're putting this spotlight on effectively brand new young talent.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
Yeah. It's like they used the titles at first to get them to a certain level, a certain plateau. Obviously started taking the titles off the Usos, then Roman, started pushing through the story. And now this story has nothing to do with titles at all. And we're all still gripped. It's arguably still the most interesting stuff happening across WWE. With no titles involved. Yeah. With the main characters of the story in Roman and Rock not even being on TV.
Yeah. Nowhere near TV.
At all.
Absolutely.
Not even in pre-recorded segments or anything, just totally off TV. And that plays into the brilliance of Paul Heyman. And I think it was on Backlash, right? Where he had a moment backstage where he saw Jey Uso. Brilliant. And it was a bit like, please help me.
Help me.
Yeah.
I'm losing control. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in my own bloodline.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
One thing that's very exciting as well, that nobody knew this news was coming. I love that in the modern day where everything gets leaked on internet and this guy signed with WWE and that guy signed. None of us knew he was.
Well, and as we're all predicting, it was going to be Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, it was said earlier this year that all three of the brothers, so Tama Tonga was first, Tangaloa, and then their younger brother Hikuleo.
Hikuleo,
who is someone WWE have wanted since maybe 2022 now.
Right.
All their contracts end this year.
So interesting.
So apparently, but Tangaloa, his deal apparently was done when Tama Tonga's deal was done. And they just chose to hold it back and use him now.
It's going to be good, man.
Yeah. So Tangaloa pulls the ref. He did the old Solo Sikoa at Clash of the Castle move.
Yeah. Did he pull the ref really? No, I'm joking.
Pulls the ref out and then, essentially attacks Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and then Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga get the win. But, I mean, an incredible red hot.
Yeah, great match.
Arena-wide brawl.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it. The next match, triple threat for the WWE Women's Championship. Bayley, the champion, defeated Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Again, I thought this match far exceeded expectations, but I don't know if... I mean, there were some really nice spots in it. I thought there was some good chemistry. I said on last week's show, I don't quite know why Naomi's in this. I don't have a huge interest in Naomi at the moment because, to me, she's just an entrance. But the crowd really elevated this into a really nice match.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to give Tiffany a big outing, and obviously the crowd were going crazy. Naomi is someone that's just come back to the company, so they just want to be using her to kind of justify why they've brought her back. I think for me, what I was kind of more watching here was the character stuff. I thought it was very interesting post-match. Naomi went and hugged Bayley, gave her a kiss on the cheek, and I'm thinking that's a bit much for someone that just pinned you.
No, but we know they're friends.
Right. And then I think that's what calmed me down about it, because in the back we've got this story of Naomi also being friends with Bianca Belair, who is going off at every opportunity about Bayley and what Bayley's done to her. So I think we might be seeing the beginnings of some friction between, maybe Naomi has to choose between these guys and Bayley as to who her friends could be, because I've never seen anyone get, pinned and you start kissing and hugging the winner, the person that just pinned you. Like,
well, it's interesting. I mean, that's probably a more valid take than mine. I watched that and I thought that was Naomi's way of saying, thanks for the match, I'm now going to take a back seat while you do something else with Tiffany.
Possibly.
Just from a storyline point of view.
I think you both might be right. I think they are definitely going to circle back to the Bianca Naomi, and maybe that was Naomi off the cuff, just actually generally just being like, love you, girl. This is your moment. We're in France. They're celebrating you. Enjoy the moment. But can I just say, I think this match was great. Is that the consensus here?
No, I do think it was a good match.
I think this match was brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. I didn't even want this match to end. Like when that pin happened, I was like, oh, it's done. But I watched this match with my older brother, who hasn't watched wrestling in a long time. And he thoroughly enjoyed it. He don't even know who the three women were in the ring, but he thoroughly enjoyed it. He's like, this is a great match. Big up to Tiffany Stratton as well. She's amazing. I think she's going to be a superstar. I think she's probably going to be this time next year, main event in WrestleMania. I'm calling it, man. She's a red hot
2025.
Yeah.
Actual main event.
Oh, no. Like the women's match. Let's not go too far, guys.
Let's not go too far, or you.
Don't use my real words against me.
Yeah. Sorry. To be clear, when I say main event, I mean kickoff show.
Not on the card at all.
No, I'm joking. She is great.
She's a star.
But what is great is that she doesn't look out of place in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like
Facts.
she came out of a match with Bailey and Naomi, two kind of veterans, really.
And the injection, it needed it. It needed her in that match.
100%.
You know,
100%.
2021 is when she debuted.
really,
That's when
wrestling
she started
completely.
wrestling. She was doing
she's
gymnastics.
crazy.
She was with the US gymnastic team.
There's only a
before
few
this.
wrestlers that can do that.
Right,
Kurt Angle's one of them.
Yeah. Logan Paul is the other
Logan Paul's one of them. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. Maybe even Bad Bunny if he actually stuck with it. Maybe Bad Bunny could have done it.
Yeah, he's good. He put in the work.
Yeah.
He put in the work. As did Jey Uso and Damian Priest. This was another really good, exciting match. World Heavyweight Championship. We discussed this match, me and Kev, last week because it was an interesting one because you needed to solidify Damian Priest as a proper, worthy champ. Especially coming off the heels of Seth Rollins and everything Seth did, who now doesn't have a beard, by the way. Have you seen the picture of him?
Too much chin on show.
Baby
Too much.
face Seth Rollins. I couldn't believe it. But, you know, it was a really important match for Damian Priest because if you think, coming off holding the Money in the Bank briefcase for, 10 months, 11 months or something like that, a long time, and then he only wins it essentially because CM Punk has attacked Drew in that amazing spot of Mania. But like he needed a solid A, title defense, but B, victory, really. So I think the right man won. I thought it was also an important match for Jey Uso. Can we just talk about his entrance, by the way?
Incredible. How do you say that in French?
Incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Magnifique. Magnifique.
I think you're right.
Très bien.
Hello, Lynn.
Hello, Lynn. Not French.
No? Okay. Yeah, anyway, what you say?
It's
Jey Uso.
It's Jabita Lynn.
Oh my god.
Come and shoot the pal, Lynn.
Eh?
Come and shoot the pal, Lynn.
By the way, for anyone who doesn't understand the Lynn references, we're talking Alan Partridge. I'm sure a lot of our UK
Classic.
listeners will know, but
Not the French ones. Am I right?
Oui.
Alright, okay.
je m'appelle. Yes, so an important match. Oh, yeah, the entrance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Amazing. One of the best things I've ever seen.
So this is the first time, if I'm right, they've turned out the lights for Jey Uso's entrance.
I think so,
right?
yeah. I think
'Cause
you're right.
Yeah, I don't think they've done that before.
But I think they did that because they saw that so many people were turning on their phone lights and the fireflies
That's
were out.
amazing.
Jey Uso has since come out and said he got really emotional about that
Yeah.
because obviously, because of Bray. And that's like the new thing now, and that's taken on, and the US crowd are doing it on Raw. Yeah. So I love that. It was a special night for Jey just for that reason alone, let alone the match itself. But I thought, like, does Jey need a world title? I think he should have it at some point. But I think
eventually, yes.
It was more important for Damian to keep hold of the belt.
100%.
Yeah.
Damian just become the champion. I'm not sure how long he will need it for, but I don't think when he does lose it, I don't think it should even be to Jey yet. I think the Jey Uso World Champion Tour needs to happen sometime next year. And then it culminates to maybe like Mania in 2027 or 2026 or something like that. It needs to take time. It needs to take, basically what I'm trying to say, it needs to take time. It can't just be rushed.
I'm not buying it myself,
At the moment. But when you see the Usos reunite with Roman Reigns, that's going to be one of the biggest moments in wrestling history. And Jey will be propelled to another level then.
That is true, and that goes to what Kevin and I was saying last week. What we're missing at the moment is the heart of the Jey character.
Yeah.
Like his merch, his look, his entrance, everything is on point, and they've marketed him incredibly well. But what makes him so popular is that connection he has with the audience. Everything we saw in the Bloodline, dating all the way back to Hell in a Cell 2020 in that remarkable match with Roman. I agree, and I've just got goosebumps thinking about it. That
will be
reuniting of the Usos and Roman.
And like Jey, he was probably the emotional one out of everyone in that faction. He carried it with emotion. When that it's going to be like when Bret and Owen reunited.
Max has got some
and
points.
Owen cried. Owen cried in Bret's arms.
You're both right.
It's going to be beautiful,
You're both right. But this is it. Right now, I just feel like what we are getting is just the unfinished article. Like I was saying to my friend, like it's pretty much like having a Selfridges bag and then you have like a Primark top inside it.
Love it.
It's all theory right now, but the practicality hasn't happened. Like, you can go and take your theory test and do your hazard perception and all of that clicking and stuff. But it doesn't mean you can drive the car. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's the reason why I said not yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not yet. And for me, it's proof of concept. I think we need to see him as a mid-card champion.
Yeah.
At the very least, maybe even become this King of the Ring, which we're going to talk about. He's got Dragunov next week. Like, that's a big moment that he has to overcome for me if he's ever going to be like a world champion. Right now, it's just all...
That's a good point.
Those analogies were excellent.
I've been practicing them for weeks.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. Sorry, you don't like compliments.
That's why you suck.
They were awful. Get a grip, Max.
No, that's a good point. And you're right about the King of the Ring. I think Jay has to win that.
You think he's going to win King of the Ring?
I think he should.
He needs wins.
I think he should.
He needs big wins.
I don't think Gunther needs it. I think it's too early for Ilya. And who else is in there? Kofi?
Gunther.
Yeah.
Kofi
I mean, we'll get there. But like, yeah, I just think he needs big wins. And Ilya is going to be a big hurdle, which he either overcomes or doesn't next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the match ended because Damian Priest made it clear to Judgment Day boys, don't get involved. I don't need you to get involved. But then JD McDonough and Finn Balor got involved and actually ended up helping Damian win over Jay. But then after the match, and this was a lovely little moment, I thought, Wrestling 101, classic old school booking, turning the heel very slowly into a face. They were attacking Jay post-match and Damian ripped Finn and JD off him and went, no, he's had enough. I really
Yeah, that was brilliant.
When he grabbed Finn by his chin and pushed him into I thought, yo, like that's a lot. I felt that.
Yeah.
But then they calmed it down. They got back on the same page. On Raw, they continued it. They all sort of apologized to each other and hugged. So I like its baby steps towards Judgment Day unraveling and turning on Damian, presumably a Clash of the Castle, to give Drew McIntyre his big win.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen. It could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I thought it was a great match. Really, really fun. As I say, kind of an unreviewable PLE because no idea if the action was good because the crowd made it seem like the greatest set of matches we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Again, this was really decent, actually, I have to say, in terms of in-ring physicality. They defeated the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, who, for me, star of the show. Kairi Sane is just brilliant.
She's amazing.
Are we going to talk about it?
Yes, that's what we're here to do.
What do you mean? You know what I mean.
Oh, what are we going to talk about?
Okay, look. Yeah.
We got to talk about this.
Oh,
man. We can't let this slide.
Wait. Okay, so I don't know what you're about to say, but I genuinely don't think it was down to the wrestlers involved. I think the referee.
It was the referee.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 100%. It was nothing to do.
The referee, so basically, looks like the referee told Kairi that she wasn't the legal woman. Then there was like maybe a miscommunication between Kairi and Asuka, and obviously Jade, who was in the ring with them. But of course, everyone will then say, "Oh, it's the wrestlers, or it's Jade Cargill. She's the newbie here, or it's language barriers and stuff like that." I know the referee.
It was the referee. It basically, the referee stuck to the rules too much, and I understand that you got to stick to the rules. Apparently, Asuka was the legal person, and Kairi was going for a pin or whatever, and so the referee said to Kairi, "Oh, you're not the legal person. You got to tag out." And then Kairi was like, "Well, I still got to do my spot. You just ruined the spot that we have to do." So it caused like a big confusion,
Yes, I
and they had
remember
to like restart the thing. And even when didn't Kairi like tag in Asuka, but she was the legal person, so you didn't have to tag her back in. And then they had to do something. Asuka had to do a little something to make it look good, and then it went back into the spot. So it just kind of spoiled the match a bit for me.
And it was a bit of a shame because if I remember correctly, that was just a couple of minutes before the finish. So it was like they had to build momentum back up towards that finish. But I have to say,
the finish though,
Jade Cargill throwing Kairi Sane around in the manner in which she did was
incredible,
unbelievable.
Now we would have seen that in AEW. She's done that same finish with I can't remember Sky Blue. That's it.
She's done something very similar. But Kairi coming off the top, she catches her in a powerbomb position, flips her around, throws her down, catches her in the Jaded, hits the Jaded.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And the crowd went crazy for that.
I mean, props to get Jade Cargill, but equally, massive props to Kairi Sane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
absolutely. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That is a proper.
For me,
did you notice? Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying Asuka and Kairi Sane were the MVPs of this match for me because they sold their butts off for Jade Cargill, especially to kind of
make her look good,
get her looking good. So
did you know? I felt like Jade was I don't know what was said, but it looked like Jade was apologizing to Bianca when the 1, 2, 3 hit and they became the new women's tag team champions and their arms were raised. And then Jade went to hug Bianca Belair. She was whispering something, and Bianca was like, "No, it's fine. Like, just don't apologize." Like,
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but that's a nice point, because the point I wanted to make is that I love the chemistry, the genuine, what seems to be genuine chemistry between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Tag team champs, I think it's really going to work, but crucially,
Have a drink.
it's going to work so well when the eventual split happens, and they're facing each other. I think that chemistry is really going to help them out.
100%.
And it's going to be a really special feud.
Yeah,
hopefully a really special tag title reign, but
then a real special feud.
And I think this goes back to, because on Friday Night SmackDown, when they had just had their match, I think it was, and Bayley was backstage with them and Naomi, when Bianca started kind of getting at Bayley, Jade Cargill's in the back kind of rolling her eyes and all of this kind of stuff. Like, you're doing this again. You're making this about Bayley again. They went into the press conference after Backlash and Bianca started going off about Bayley again. And then she said, "Oh, sorry, Jade, I talk about Bayley a lot." And then Jade was like, "Oh, yeah, you do." So if they use all of these little things, like I'm saying, like, you know,
This is good,
we've
man.
got the little beginnings of, that turn.
I'm just excited. This is great writing. Like, they're just thinking about everything. They're being so meticulous about everything.
All the little
great.
moments.
Yeah, it's great to see, man.
It's really good. And then that takes us to the main event. Only 5 matches on the show, which is 2 hours 55 of the event was a great length for me.
I was saying to my mates, by the time it was finished, like it finished before 9 o'clock, you could still go out down.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, it's like, let's go out now.
Yeah.
Before we used to go straight to bed.
Yeah, I didn't go out. But Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles in a 27-minute and 20-second barnstormer.
Man, I think this match is a classic.
I think it was really... I'm hoping they have another one. We predicted they would. I don't know if they will.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I thought it was an excellent, excellent match.
It just shows, think what you want. I might not be new. I'm going to give credit. I'm not saying, obviously, Cody played his part. Cody's amazing. But AJ Styles, man, like... when you think, he's got a match against LA Knight, I don't want to see that, and then he pulls off a great match. There's no build to this match. Who cares? It's AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes. Like, this is matches I want to see. And to me, they proved that why them two are one of the best wrestlers today. I think that was a great match. I think that's a classic, personally.
There was a lot of this weekend on social media of people saying, "Oh, AJ still got it." And it's
when did he lose? He's the best.
But I think it's been because of how he's been booked, who he's been, his dance partner over recent months and stuff. Like, yeah, I think people are fair to say that, but you can see, like, given a good opponent, given time, like, he is still one of the absolute greats.
And what I love is that on commentary, they built up the fact that it was 2 former Bullet Club leaders facing off for the first time ever. They mentioned the fact that AJ Styles was wearing similar gear, or he designed the gear around the gear he wore when he defeated Dusty Rhodes like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was purple.
TNA.
Yeah, it was it was purple.
But I love that WWE will reference this stuff now, because it does add kind of emotional weight to the match.
Was Cody the Bullet Club leader?
He wasn't officially.
Oh, not a leader. Okay.
Michael Cole did say that he was a leader, but him and Kenny Omega were struggling.
There was a tip.
He wasn't official, but yeah.
Now, Max, before we started rolling, you said something really interesting about this main event in particular.
Yeah, I was just saying, how refreshing is it to have 27 minutes, like you said, James, of actual just wrestling, no shenanigans, just actual work, and we have had great moments with Roman in main events over the last 3 years, but we haven't got anything like this because it's been the bloodline and whomsoever getting involved and dusty finishes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I thought it was really refreshing to just have a classic wrestling match, no shenanigans, no dusty finish. Just I pinned you straight up. I've beaten you. It
really comes down to who is the better man.
Yeah.
Rather than, and that's the one thing that I got frustrated with in all the years of Bloodline was there were too many finishes that were too similar. Whether it was either the ref being pulled out or a super kick or a spike to the throat from Solo, whatever it was. But it happened a lot with the Bloodline. So to have this kind of match, and that sort of, I don't know, kind of underpins this new era of Cody being the poster boy of WWE and what he's bringing to, to the dance as world champion.
Bret Hart. You know, Bret Hart's the world champion. What was his focus? Great matches.
But you know what else I really, really enjoyed is bringing Bret into this and Cody referencing AJ Styles as the modern day excellence of execution. I really liked that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what a way to put over AJ, brings Bret into the conversation, shows you what Cody stands for. I really love all that.
Yeah.
Really love all that. So Backlash, well, I said it at the top of the show. It was a B pay-per-view. Backlash always has been, but it really feels like there's weight behind this show now, a real significance to it. The fact they're going to take it to a different country, I assume, each year. Triple H mentioned Italy having a crazy crowd during the live tour recently.
Interesting. I'd like to see that.
That could be one. I really want, and I know the crowd would be really different, but I think this should be the point of taking it to different territories and embracing the culture and the crowd reactions. I really want to see a Japanese show.
Yeah, man.
I really want to see WWE do a big scale show in Japan.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be amazing.
We would go to that one.
And Mexico.
Mexico.
Rabid crowd. Crazy crowd.
I think there are so many things they could lean into with this to make it a proper worldwide experience. Okay, King and Queen of the Ring. So it's coming up May 24th, is it? May 23rd?
That's at
It's that weekend, anyway.
Yeah.
That's Saturday night from Saudi. So Raw, which was a solid show, I thought, but it was really based around this tournament. And we got, what did we get? We got 2 matches. Ricochet versus Ilya Dragunov.
Crazy, man.
And Gunther versus Sheamus in the main event of the show. Oh, and we also got Jey Uso defeating Finn Balor. Jey Uso replacing Drew McIntyre, who is out of the tournament because he's not medically cleared.
Yeah.
Max, I don't know if you know about this. Is this storyline? Or has he genuinely hurt his elbow?
I don't know if he's genuinely hurt his elbow. They've cited it happened at WrestleMania when, CM Punk pulled him off the table and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's been anything out if there's actual, if this is real or not.
But wasn't he not saying that he was working with an injury for some time anyway?
He's sort of saying, I'm a man, I tape it up and carry on, unlike Punk.
So it probably is
he wrestled,
slightly hurt. They probably got to take some precaution.
He wrestled night after Mania.
I know.
Contender, so
I know.
He is probably fine.
But my thing would be with this, Drew doesn't need King of the Ring.
No.
Especially, he's so hot right now. He's embroiled in this feud with CM Punk. Taking him out, making Adam Pearce say, I'm afraid you're not medically cleared, we can't put you in this tournament. And if they're citing it as a CM Punk thing at Mania, that gives Drew another reason to hate CM Punk. So it plays perfect, real or not, it plays perfectly into the storyline between those two.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really good. So Ilya Dragunov Ricochet first. So Finn Balor, Jey Uso gets the win. So he advances and he will take on Ilya Dragunov because Dragunov beat Ricochet in one hell of a match on Raw.
That suplex off the top rope, the landing on that was crazy. I don't know if it was the camera angle, but it just looked like Ricochet landed on his head. It just looked crazy. But yeah, I mean, physicality, Ilya Dragunov he's unreal. And he's so unorthodox. I can't describe his style. He's just so different. But great match. What did you think, Matt?
Brilliant. Yeah. Honestly, brilliant. And I think it was a great spot for Ricochet as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really was.
Because Ricochet is so good. Didn't obviously bring out his new speed title.
No.
Which I'm happy I didn't need to see.
Probably best.
Yeah. But yeah, Dragunov now, going through, this is his first showing on Raw. And now, like we're saying, him versus Jey Uso next week. It's
going to be a test for both of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ilya Dragunov, especially with the vignette they ran beforehand, where they just made him look like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're putting a lot, and he is over. Like he was getting a good crowd reaction when he came out, and they were in Hartford last night, Hartford, Connecticut, not known for being the most. It wasn't like a Brooklyn or a Chicago. So I was happy to see his reaction. So yeah, Ilya Dragunov and Jey Uso next week. And then on the other side of the bracket, we got Gunther who advanced because he defeated Sheamus in the main event of Raw last night. What did you think of this? So this is kind of their third go around, if you include the triple threat of Mania last year with Drew.
Yeah, this was really good as well. I think these two have like amazing chemistry. They're not afraid to beat each other up and you know be really kind of stiff with each other. Sheamus still can't get it done when it comes to Gunther. He's still the man in his way. Gunther, who I guess is the tournament favorite, progresses and he's gonna get one of Kofi Kingston or Rey Mysterio.
I feel like with Sheamus and Gunther, it needs to be the Raven and Tommy Dreamer storyline from ECW, where Tommy Dreamer could never beat Raven, never in a million years. Keep going, and then in the last match, where either Raven or Dreamer leaves. In this case, Sheamus leaves. Sheamus should beat him. I think he should always lose to Gunther for a long time until his time.
So on the other side of the coin, we've got the SmackDown bracket. So it's AJ and Randy Orton, Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight and Santos Escobar, and then Bobby Lashley versus Tama Tonga. I quite like Tama Tonga being in there. Let's skip to the final. Raw versus SmackDown. So I made a prediction it would be Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther in the final, which we know can't happen because it's Raw versus SmackDown. So what is your prediction for the final and who wins?
I think we're either getting one of Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes in the final.
Oh, okay.
Because they're quite hot on Carmelo Hayes. Or Jey Uso versus Tama Tonga. And that's how we kind of circle back to the bloodline stuff. Maybe Jimmy comes in to help Jay to get reunite the brothers.
That
somewhat.
could be interesting.
I'm not sure how fans would feel though about bloodline yet again kind of consuming something WWE are doing.
Yeah,
but it's there. Like the vehicle means that they can both reach the final sort of thing. So yeah, I think that could be a way of doing it.
Okay. Can you imagine if they went with Rey Mysterio versus Baron Corbin in the final?
it'd be something different.
That actually sounds like a final from maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yes,
absolutely.
No, it does.
Yeah,
it really
absolutely.
does.
Corbin was king at one point, wasn't he?
He was king of the ring at one point.
Corbin.
But this is the thing, like, and I'm hoping whoever wins doesn't then become king, whoever. But it does beg the question, like, who would it suit this kind of victory? Like, I can't quite see Jey Uso, for example, being king.
Yeah,
but it definitely suits Carmelo.
Yeah,
Definitely,
it would suit
definitely
Carmelo.
suits Carmelo.
It would suit Gunther.
It
I
definitely
think.
would suit Gunther as well. The ring general, king of the ring. That does suit him too.
but Gunther's no chance he's wearing.
I've got a random question.
Like
You whoa, hold on. Did you say you've got a
I've
random
got a
question?
random question.
Ben, play it.
Skillet's random question.
I wasn't expecting that. That's wonderful.
We made that just for you.
Thank you. So my random question is, what is some of your favorite King of the Ring moments?
1993, Bret Hart in those 3 matches. Bam Bam Bigelow, Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, yeah.
3 very different matches, 3 very different opponents.
3 very different finishes.
3 very different finishes, but 3 just what a night that was for Bret Hart. I mean, that is what springs to mind immediately. I mean, you've got so many in the old. I love the Triple H Mankind '97.
That's the one. That's my first King of the Ring that I remember. So
I was a bit frustrated by that.
Why?
I mean, if Triple H was the deserving winner. He was supposed to win '96, but I just felt the way he won it. It was just like again, Foley's just getting battered. Did you know like pedigree him on the table?
He pedigreed him on the table, but then pedigreed him on the broken bit of table.
Yeah, and then hitting him and breaking the scepter. And
it's very Triple H though, isn't it?
I know. I just felt, come on, man, get Foley some slack, man.
Can we just highlight this, right? Triple H was meant to win
96,
in '96
yeah.
because of the curtain call incident. Vince took it away from him and put it on Steve Austin. Steve Austin then, on that night, had the promo that would change his life and the course of wrestling history. How mental is that?
That's crazy, isn't it?
That is unbelievable.
And I think that's my favorite King of the Ring moment ever. That King of the Ring,
hard to argue.
I've got a a real soft spot for that King of the Ring because you had Shawn versus Bulldog in the main event, which is like at that time Shawn was
massive.
untouchable,
Yep.
and Bulldog was like one of my favorites. You had the Austin promo, right? You know, because I loved Austin from WCW days, and that was when I felt okay. This is now he's arrived. Brian Pillman caught an amazing. A lot of people don't talk about Brian Pillman's promo in this.
It's an
this
incredible
pay-per-view.
promo.
It's one of the best promos in wrestling history, but it never gets talked about. I don't know why. If you watch it back, watch King of the Ring '96. Brian Pillman's promo in that pay-per-view is phenomenal. So I think those three reasons. Obviously, and then you had the Wild Man Mark Merrow cutting his lip, having to get cutting Austin's lip, and Austin had to get stitches and come back.
Austin goes to hospital during the show and comes back to cut the promo.
And one more thing I want to mention about that King of the Ring: Owen Hart on commentary.
I was just about to say
Owen
that.
Hart on commentary with the cast in his arm being incredible. I that is one of my favorite King of the Ring pay-per-views ever.
Happy 59th birthday, Owen.
Yeah, rest in peace, Owen. And obviously, and Kurt Angle as well, winning the King of the Ring in 2000.
2000,
Yeah,
was it? 2000?
Yeah, 2000. And shout out to Booker T. Because King of the Ring was terrible then, but he still made something out of it when he won King of the Ring. But yes, Max, before we go back to you, Max, can I ask Max his opinions on
Yes.
this?
I said Triple H.
Okay. Oh,
97.
you did say Triple H.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say, James?
Well, no, I was just going to say, lest we forget things like Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle as well.
Oh my God, of course. Yeah.
You know, King of the Ring has given us
Remind
some
me.
incredible moments.
So that match was at King of the Ring, right? The Shane versus Kurt Angle.
Yep.
So how did Angle continue to win King of the Ring that same night? Because Kurt Angle would have he'd broken his tailbone and stuff like that in that match, wasn't it?
was it the same night?
They had two matches. I'm just trying to remember if it
I'm
was
trying
the
to remember
right
as
one.
well.
But
it
I
definitely
mean,
was King of the Ring because he was phoning through that.
This is someone that won the Olympics with a broken neck.
It's
so.
true. That's a good point.
Producer Ben, can you see, did Kurt Angle win the King of the Ring tournament on the same night he had that
Match
Falls
with Shane
Count
McMahon.
Anywhere match with Shane McMahon? I can't remember the answer to that. Just talking about Queen of the Ring, let's not gloss over this.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Shayna Baszler and Zelina Vega upcoming. We had Io Sky versus Natalia in a really nice match, by the way, I have to say.
Very good match.
And it felt like, to the point where I thought, oh, they might finally be doing something big with Natalia here because she seemed to have a fire lit under her.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but there were some great moments in this and some good chemistry and some hard-hitting moments.
She's been on NXT quite frequently in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And even then I was thinking, draft her to NXT and let her keep working with these young men and women because that is where she's really adding value. I think Natalia is someone that's had to kind of dumb herself down for a long time because of women's wrestling wasn't in a certain position at the time, and now it's like she can't get to where she needs to be because I guess there's favorites now sort of thing. But yeah, I think there is something maybe happening with her.
Well, I hope so because I thought the showing with Io Sky was really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Io Sky for me is one of those talents that just can wrestle. What's the expression, Max? Wrestle a broomstick. And that's not a slight on Natalia. Natalia is one of the greatest workers in women's wrestling history. She's a heart, for God's sakes, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I get excited when I see a Io Sky match, and I hope she progresses to some more.
So Io Sky will take on the winner of Shayna Baszler and Zelina Vega. Then we've got Dakota Kai, who I've got real problems with, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not enjoying her promos at all. She loses to Lyra Valkyria. And then Ivy Nile loses to Zoe Stark on Raw. So Zoe Stark will take on Lyra Valkyria next week. And then on the SmackDown side of things, we haven't had those matches announced, I don't think, yet. So, but can we make a bold prediction for who in the women's division
Queen of the Ring?
Who's going to be the Queen of the Ring?
I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure.
And again,
Tiffany could be a good shout.
It could be Tiffany.
Tiffany could be a good shout.
Yeah.
It could be Tiffany.
But doesn't this once again highlight the issues we've been talking about for the last few weeks with the women's division? Like, who are the characters? Who does it work for? I don't know.
Like, we look at
For
the
me,
men's,
there's a lot of work to be
and
done.
the men's is largely unpredictable, to be honest. I mean, Gunther's the favourite, but it's the matchups. I mean, AJ Styles, Randy Orton as a first round matchup, that could be a final easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the women's, they've got a lot of good talents, but do we care about them? Is what we need to kind of get around.
Elsewhere on the show at the end of May, so we'll have the Raw bracket winner versus the SmackDown bracket winner for both the King of the Ring tournament final and the Queen of the Ring tournament final. We've got Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. That's been announced. And the three-way dance that me and Kev were predicting might happen at Backlash. Sami Zayn puts the IC title on the line against Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. So yeah, I mean, the card is shaping up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a couple of weeks away. I want to quickly ask you about the Punk Drew promo. Skills, what did you think?
Not one of Punk's best work, but these things happen. You're not going to consistently be on your A game every week, especially when you're doing a weekly live show. Not every promo is going to be great. It's still a good promo. It's still something that's engaging. One thing about CM Punk, you will never not be engaging, no matter whatever he spills on the mic. It's just one of those things. Unfortunately, you had to, think of something when they pulled Drew away from the. I'm assuming that's probably why I feel Drew might be really hurt. I feel like plans changed and they had to pull Drew away from the King of the Ring, and Punk just had to work with what he had. Cut a promo when Drew is not there. I mean,
there was definitely an engineered moment of Drew leaving the arena in the car, and then a second later, Punk pulls up.
Yeah,
I like the way that happened. I like the way the camera then followed Punk all the way through the arena, and and he said, "Adam, go and tell production to hit my music." He was like, "Yeah, I can do that." So I really like that, and they followed him all the way down into the crowd. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. Actually, the line I liked the most was actually off mic when he spoke to camera when his music was playing after the promo, and he said, "I'm going to come to Glasgow. I'm going to jump out of a bowl of haggis and break your face," or a line to that effect. Yeah. But I mean, and then I don't know if you've seen Drew's 3.5-minute promo he's cut on social from his garden, just laying into Punk relentlessly. Okay. Like, it is all building. I agree. I don't think it was the promo of all promos. No. It was a little bit rambly. I think there were a lot of repeated points, but I do like this idea that they missed each other by a minute. Punk tried to call him back. Drew never appeared. Drew's now gone on social. It's this lovely sort of tapestry of moments that are going to create a brilliant pre-match promo when we finally get there.
I laughed when Punk said, if Drew doesn't come back, I'm what's the word? Hijacking the show. I'm not leaving the ring. Like, no one's going to complain that CM Punk is staying in the ring and cutting promos. Like,
well, some people would.
I mean, Kev. But I think, it's one of them ones where you're so over that people want to see you. Like, you're not like someone that we want to get out of the ring. But yeah, he didn't have his finest night. I found like the AEW done something when he first debuted, like sent him out week after week with a live mic and all of this kind of stuff. And I didn't mind it so much then, although it did get annoying because that was him returning to wrestling after, 7 years or whatever the case is. WWE have found this organic way, which they've straight away got him in a feud with Drew, and everything he does or has done up to this point has been him versus Drew. And the minute they just didn't get this one right this past week, it felt a bit, meandering and like, well, are we just kind of cashing in on CM Punk being here now? But yeah, I'm sure they'll kind of course correct and sort that out.
An email from Adam Leeson. He says, "Hello, you. Loving the pod being back, like everyone else, especially the man they call Skillet."
Oh, thank you, Adam.
Just wondering if you guys think WWE are wasting the Punk versus McIntyre story a little at the moment, as Punk still isn't cleared, and at least in storyline, McIntyre is injured also. Would it be worth keeping them off TV for a bit, at least until SummerSlam season when the match happens? Last week, Punk was on fire on the mic, and this week, and Kevin will love this, I found him to ramble on a bit and not say anything new, which annoyed me, especially as he's one of my faves. Keep up the great work. I don't know if I agree with that, Adam.
No,
I think yes, you can oversaturate it if you put him on screen too much when we're not going to get to the action quick enough. But I think as long as it's kind of baby steps each week, and as long crucially, as long as the storyline progresses and the drama gets ramped up each week. I think this week was a minor misstep, but
it's
nothing
not
major.
A major misstep. Yeah, we've seen really bad missteps with promos. It's not a great promo, but it still adds value to the story,
Put it this way, this story has been going on since mid-January. And this is the first misstep, a little misstep, and the entire story since January.
And they barely touched.
Yeah. So
it's going to be good.
When you put it like that. And if this goes all the way to SummerSlam,
Yeah.
Speaking of big events, this is the last quick thing I wanted to talk about. WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
So Las Vegas, it was announced, is to host WrestleMania 41 on Saturday, April 19th and Sunday, April 20th at the Allegiant Stadium on the Strip. So this will be the first WrestleMania to live stream on Netflix in international markets, including the UK, which is absolutely mental, following the WWE Network's merger under the platform in January 2025. This will also be the first WrestleMania to be held during Easter weekend. So it's a bank holiday weekend, which a lot of people on Twitter have been very excited about. And this is the latest date in April that Mania has ever been held, which I noticed straight away.
Yeah.
It's 19th and 20th of April. The latest was 10th and 11th of April for Mania 37, the post-pandemic Mania from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. So just some interesting points about Mania. I think there's obviously the whole TKO UFC connection happening in Vegas makes total sense. I don't know if there's a UFC event happening that weekend as well, because they've talked about kind of co-branded TKO weekends, haven't they? I mean, whether you can cram anything else into Mania weekend.
It's already Saturday and Sunday.
But, I'm excited to go to Vegas, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all need to be there. It's going to be the biggest one. Like they already said, this year was the biggest. Rock Reigns, Netflix, live. You know,
it's
going to be crazy.
In the entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah,
it makes
it's
sense.
going to be the biggest.
It makes sense.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm happy. Obviously, it's all sorted now. We know it's Vegas, but I'm going to Vegas in September for a stag do.
Oh, you're coming back.
I mean, I'm coming back. But that's the thing. I feel like, now I'm going to the same place twice.
Should we get Triple H to change the plans?
Yeah, for me, please.
Because you're going to stag do. Producer Ben, any news on Kurt Angle?
So Kurt won the King of the Ring in 2000, beating Rikishi.
That's right.
Yeah, so him versus Shane was 2001, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so different years.
Oh, it was a different year?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I knew it was.
Okay.
I knew it was.
I mistaked the two.
Thanks, Ben.
Edge won it in 2001.
That's it, yeah.
Didn't ask for those details. But how long have we got left? Not long?
None.
No, okay. So, once again, Emmett Bradshaw from Ireland. We're not going to get to your we need to talk about John Cena email.
You're building this up, aren't you, Jay?
Well, hilariously, I got a follow-up email from Emmett going, "Hiya, thanks for hyping up my email each and every week. I feel like Brodus Clay in 2011. Hopefully this lands better than the Funkasaurus." That's brilliant. Emmett, I promise we'll get to your email soon. It's just so long. Final thoughts from me. Dom Mysterio's moustache and hair. A stark reminder of what an absolute state Eddie Guerrero actually was.
Oh my God.
I don't mean that. I love you, Eddie Guerrero. I love you, Eddie Guerrero.
95, 96
Can I just
Eddie.
add? Did you see Dom Mysterio? On first time we saw him on the show, he had his bandana on. Second time we saw him, he never had his bandana on. And we saw Liv Morgan post a picture. His bandana was in Liv Morgan's pocket.
I mean, are we giving them more credit than they deserve? This could just be it could be a coincidence, or it could
He's been wearing the bandana in every segment. Last week.
So the little minor detail.
Do you know what I'd say to that?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'd say to that?
Tits, yeah. Trust in trips.
Trust in trips. That's a great point.
Yeah.
You're noticing the
you're
little
right about
things.
that. Yeah, that is amazing.
You're noticing these little things, and that's great. But the big question of the week, is Solo Sikoa using the same shampoo as Drew McIntyre? Because during Backlash, Solo looked like Brian Knobs.
He did. Right? He did. He looked terrible. I wouldn't say the word terrible.
It wasn't
I'm not
terrible.
going to say terrible.
Anyway,
But
let us know your hot takes. Email us helloyou@wwegp.co.uk. Give us a follow on social media at WWGP on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. And when we get there, and I think it's only going to be a couple of weeks, it's happening quickly. When we get there, we are going to do something big and we are going to do something special. So go to youtube.com/@WWEGP. Give us a subscribe. You'll get all the great content and you'll get something very special as well. And also head to wwegp.co.uk and sign up to the newsletter. We've just given away an amazing 2K24 bundle of merch and the game itself all for free, all because the winner just signed up to the newsletter.
That's amazing.
So it's well worth it,
Yeah.
folks. And finally, really helps us out if you could rate and review GP wherever you get your podcast. That kind of stuff really helps us out. Max, where can people find you on the social?
WrestleManiac UK on all your social media platforms, but echoing what you said, James, YouTube. Follow Gorilla Position on YouTube. Let's get to 100k.
Yeah, boy. Skills, where can people find you?
Follow me at Skillit World, SKILLIT World. And yes, subscribe.
And you can follow me on Instagram as well at James Delo if you want to, but no pressure. I'd far rather you follow at WBGP. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week with more fun and frolics. And I'm trying to sort out a couple of interviews with some mage WWE talents, so that's coming up as well. So yeah, thanks so much for listening. This has been a Starstruck Media production. We shall see you next week.
Au revoir.
Oh, I was going to say au revoir.
Did you cut that?
Yeah!
Gorilla Position.